there was some technical issues here that I was facing with, but apparently they're gone. Okay, let me see if I can go back in the private chat and see if I can. Okay, it starts to do it. Let me see. Let me run a little test here. Okay, good. That was my. Okay, now all right. Let's try to get once again. It starts. So we left it at for those who missed the introduction. I was just announcing that are if you're interested in receiving a copy of these 8 principles plus the 4 additional ones written by me, simply go to the Moving On Podcast Show channel in YouTube and download a copy. You can make as many copies as you want if you want to share with some other people locally or with your family members, blah, 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 etc. You may do that at the time. It's not going to cost you a dime. It's entirely free. Now, and I left it out when this happened, this technical issue happened. I do, once again, I apologize to all of you. As we come close to an end of season 3, which ends in December 2022, just around the corner, there will be 2 more episodes in which I will be introducing the 12 steps and my full testimony. All right, so it's going to be very interesting to hear what this guy Raphael has to tell us about his life, his all the stuff that he has gone through, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know what it is. We want to welcome all questions during this show or episode. Q&A, it's available. Please bring your questions or feedback or opinions into our chat line, and I'll be more than happy to answer as many as I can. During the show tonight, we will be posting an app to those who will like to find out about recovery programs and sites in your area, wherever you guys are, where you are in Canada, in any part of the United States, South America, Central America, you can download the app that are going to be posting. And you can find local areas that you can go to and start attending these meetings if that's your choice. Okay. And you can always email me at movingon.podcast@gmail.com. I'm going to be putting that on the screen, my email address. And the reason why, in case if you live in Broward County, here in the state of Florida, and you'd like to have a session with me, session with me, one-on-one, please shoot me an email or a DM me. I'd be more than happy to arrange that meeting with you at my facility in Pompano, and I'm going to be the facilitator for that particular meeting, as I have done in the last 2.5 months. Hoping to see anyone up there. Just again, try to get a hold of me via email or DM me. And the final announcement is first, I'd like to thank everyone for being a member and part of my audience. I only ask, if I may, to please subscribe to my channel in YouTube. I know I have hundreds and hundreds of subscribers in different other platforms, in Facebook, some of them in Instagram and LinkedIn, but mainly I will love to have you guys in my YouTube channel. Why is that? Because this way I can continue to broadcast or bring to you these episodes of value to your homes from time to time. My target is to do once a week, but it can be costly. So I'm basically doing it like once a month or twice a month. Okay, but that's fine. We we're doing pretty well right now. But again, just try to become a subscriber if you think and if you find that these episodes are some sort of value to you. Uh, that's all we need from you guys. Give us a like if you like the show. At the bottom, hit the bell. That will bring you to a subscription. Subscribe, and then you will get the updates as to what shows are coming up. I have great content that I'm working on for the upcoming season, which is season 4. It's going to be an exciting season. I'm going to be announcing some of the shows, etc. And we have so much to talk about, so much to, you know, my podcast is very diversified. We try to cover a lot of stuff and talk about other issues and stuff like that. This season three, I made up my mind to make it about alcohol and drug addiction. And there's a reason why, a very big reason, because I was one of them. For many, many years, many decades, I drank alcohol for over 40 plus years. I'm not going to get into all the details about my addiction because that's not what this episode or show is about, but I'm going to tell you this, that was one of my primary reasons. As I continue attending these programs, which I found very valuable to me, of a great asset to myself and also in the relationship that I am with the God, with my God, with Lord. It's it's amazing how things can change people. And like I've been telling some of these people that I engage with or speak to during this pain is that it's amazing to finally get to understand the importance to be able to overcome these addictions. Today, I am living a very clean life, happy life for the most part, I would say. I am at peace with myself, with my loved ones, with friends, because I do have a lot of friends. And but most important, I am in such a good relationship with God. Without God, it's impossible you're gonna be able to do this. I know there's people out there that may not believe that that's true, but that's your opinion, and I will respect, always will respect that. For me, what has worked for me, it's God. Everything He gets, everything that I have become this time and days, I owe that to God. And He's the only one, as I stated to you guys in my last 4 episodes, He's the one that gets all the glory. Not me, not you, not anybody, not any family members. But again, it's something that I have to do for myself. I took the first step in recognizing, accepting, the most important, commit, commitment. Commit to my Lord and surrender all my hurts and guilts and addictions to Him. There's no other way. I tried everything that I could during these 4 plus decades, too many years drinking alcohol. Whether it was twice a month, once a month, 3 times a week, it doesn't matter whether I was a professional, uh, property manager, dental technician, many positions that I held during my entire life, it doesn't matter. As I stated to you earlier, right at the beginning of this, the opening of this episode, alcoholism doesn't care for anybody, whether you are a professional, a lawyer, a doctor, a politician, a priest, anybody. So, with that being said, let's continue. I'm going to go ahead now and start the 8 principles. If you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to just write them down there. And I do have people from, I just want to let you guys know that before I started the show, I was trying to bring someone from Canada into my episode. A great guy that I've been speaking with, and I call him great guy because he and I connected. Apparently, he's been having a lot of issues with his life in the past. Not too recently, he was hospitalized, and he came out of that, and he's now in good hands. He's trying to make a significant change in his life. He's doing great, and I'm very happy to hear that. Bob was going to be with us today out of Canada. He was before the show and canceled the live appearance because he is not ready yet. And more than that, I couldn't thank him more for that because that's all we need, to be honest with each other, to be straightforward, to be able to communicate that with each other, that the guy's not ready to come into my show yet because we feel he's not ready to do that. So that's that, and I understand. So, but guess what? We're engaged, and we got our numbers. That we're going to be continuing to this communication, and he's promised me that he's going to come to our show before the season ends, season three, which is going to be in December. And I told him I was going to do my testimony to that effect, and he's willing to join us, to join me in that event. So I'm very excited about that. Bob, I know you're there. I want to thank you uh, for being part of our group, for your subscription, for your input, feedback, and I also want to thank some of those people there in Carlos. Has been a great supporter of my platforms there. Thank you for your comments. And I can go on and on with a lot of people. I have Jasmine. Uh, I have Mr. Bad Guy. And we have other people there online sending us texts. But, amen. Okay, good. All right. So let's get started with the eight principles. Now, the recovery principles are 1 through 8. Okay, they're very popular if you are being attending to present meetings, whether you are in your local churches or the AA meetings. You're going to find you find them right at the entrance, at the front entrance of each of those meeting rooms and everything. And we're going to start with the number one. Number one is realize I am not God, and admit that we are powerless. With that being said, what is that telling you? What I just told you, that we think that it doesn't matter whether we think that we are this, we're a profession, we're a lawyer, we're a doctor. Hey, I can control this, and then you can spend a lifetime trying to fool yourself and to be a hero. Be careful with that, because alcohol can destroy your life, and he will destroy your life. Drug addiction as well, and other hurts. Now, remember that addiction doesn't only refers to alcohol and drugs. It can also be porno and so much of character defects out there, and a lot of other things that I don't want to get into that right now because we want to stick with the eight principles. But we're going to be talking about those during the 12 steps episodes. But yeah, just admit you're powerless, and you're willing to give or surrender yourself to God. It's the only answer, guys. That's the only answer I can give you. For number one, questions are welcome. If you think that you have a different opinion, please bring them on. Number two, we have earnestly believe that God exists. Greater power can restore us. Hmm. That is a good topic. believe that God exists, greater power can restore. It kind of goes with number one, you know. I mean, there's a lot of people that they just do believe in religion and their God and all that. But when you are in these some sort of addictions and in trouble in lives and start going through hell, and you see there's nothing out there that can help you, not even your family members. Sometimes they try hard, but they give up, and they other friends, and you think there's no one out there in the world to help you. Think about this: who is there to help you? But you got to believe in it. You got to believe that God exists, because He does exist. A much greater power that can restore us, as He has done with me, and maybe with you, or maybe with your loved one, or so many millions of people out there. Because there has been a lot of people that have come out of these hurts and addictions. They surrender to God, they commit to God, and they make God their savior. God will help you, but you gotta do your homework. You know, it's not just like going and sit there and have him fight your battles on your own. I mean, for himself, he's not gonna do that. I always said it, and I said this again. He's gonna give you the wisdom to the tools to apply those and to new remedies to quit addictions. I have a question before we go on the third one. Just give me 1 second, please. We have He is our creator, only He can make us new. Okay, that's from Jasmine. Yes, I agree with you on that. Only He can make us new. That's very beautiful. I just don't have any words into that effect because it says it all. Jasmine, you said it all. Entirely correct. We have Dell giving us. Oh, we got Admiral. It's he's late, but I'm here. All right, thank you, Admiral. Admiral, boom. Love to have you here, man. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for supporting my broadcast. We had few difficulties, so you're not late. Thank God you were a little late because we have. I'm not today's broadcast. One guy was didn't show up, and I have a few things dealing with a lot of stuff right now. Not with alcohol because he's been a survivor for many months now, but he was not able to make it. But it is what it is. I can't stop. I promised there was going to be a broadcast, and I did all the best that I could to be there for you guys. It's not that easy, and it's not that simple. But God helps me. God helps me to be able to broadcast this to you guys and just be humble and straight to you the way it is with simplicity and be able just to address an audience of whatever people, whoever. I mean, but it can be one or 100, 1,000. What's important is that we are changing people's lives. I don't care about our critics out there. There's quite a few critics there. We're not doing this for them. We're not doing this for those who do not want to change. I'm not doing this for those who are, in negative about this and that. I'm not doing this for those who do not believe in religion. I'm doing it just to help people out there because we with respect to a lot of religions, we're all here to support one to another. That's what God wants us to do. Okay, and we're not here to criticize anyone or to try to outsmart anybody. We're here to just share with you our hurts and our problems and give you some guidance. as I have been given guidance from a lot of people in my last almost 9 months, which I'm very happy. All right, so let me continue with step number three. Now, number three, it's three, consciously commit my life to Christ, turn our lives and the will over to God. Well, that's I can only tell you about what I did. There's different circumstances. There's different, I would say that we're all different circumstances. My circumstances were the fact that I try a lot of stuff with my life to find remedies to quit those addictions that I had. Again, I keep mentioning because there's no shame on me. In fact, before I go any further, I have a video that I was just watching yesterday. A friend of mine sent it to me, and he goes to me, Rafael, check this out. It was a guy from AA that I got to know for quite a while, and he's still out of Port St. Lucie. We still communicate, and he told me, "I'm going to send you this video so you can just upload it into your broadcast." I try, and boom, it disappeared. You got to be very careful with that. Although I do own some, belong to a platform that I own some rights. I just don't want to put stuff there. They're going to come back and hot me and sue me for stuff that I'm not allowed to put or broadcast there. So I got to be very careful with that. But it's obviously has about, I don't know, close to half a million viewers, and his talks that the person that talks in that video, it's Anthony Hopkins. Pretty sure you know who that is. Anthony Hopkins, very popular, famous, great actor, amazing actor. A man with a lot of convictions, a lot of addictions, and alcohol almost destroyed his life. And in this specific video, he talks about his life. What was his life about with battling with alcohol and drug addiction? He talks about stuff that, I mean, just because he's an actor, he's famous, he goes out there and acting and in camera, and people will judge him as a great actor. Yes, he is, but that being said, is what I'm getting at. We can, let me see how to put it to this. We can hide behind the curtain, camouflage our addictions, our hurts, our character defects, all that we can. We can try to hide, but we're just fooling ourselves. Because at the end of the day, it is what it is. We know who we are, and he knows who we are. But again, it's a terrific video clip that I was amazed because he's actually in the meaning of AA talking to these people. I am very familiar with those meetings because I tend to those quite often. And he talks about AA, he talks about the principles, these uh, principal steps, the 12 steps. And he talks very highly about the program, what this program has done for him. He was not a believer, never was. I don't know if he was born as a believer because I don't think nobody gets born as a believer, but he, ever since he was a child, he never thought that God existed or nothing like that. And he became so, uh, I would say, into religion, not as a extremist, but that's when he started trusting God and he knew there was only a way out there. And it's an amazing story, guys. I'm gonna be putting the link down in my channels. If you guys want to take a look at it, I will urge you to do so. It's very touchy. It's a guy that has been through a lot, and he's getting kind of he's I don't know how old is he, but he's been there for a long time. He made some quite remarkable movies, and he's a very successful actor. But he talks a lot about his addiction with alcohol, and he mentions other people in his circle. So I kind of capture my attention because I worked at the studios for many years back in California, and I knew how this guy. I used to watch it with my own eyes. I mean, even drugs. I mean, when I used to send the crew to clean up a space in one of these actors' office, I would just see with my own eyes barrels of whiskey. But that's Hollywood. But it's not only Hollywood. We are Hollywood. We can be Hollywood in our own homes, in our own hidden world, like I was. Because I'm not better than anybody else, and but we're good people. Doesn't mean it's because we're alcoholics we're bad people. I've been into a lot of bad places, worst places that you can't imagine. Places, I would say low grade places, good places as well. But I have made quite a few interesting characters. People with a lot of degrees and college degrees, doctors, police officers, and stuff like that. And all they do is go into these bars day and night, day and night. So it doesn't make them bad, but it is what it is. We have to pray for them, and we're hoping that one day they'll come into light and try to recover from this devastating disease or illness, as it is alcohol. It's very bad, guys, very bad. So committing your lives over to God, that's number three. We're going to go into number four. We're coming close to reach number eight now. Four is openly confess my faults to myself, to God, and someone that I trust, and take a moral inventory of ourselves. I want to ask everyone to an apology for the background noise. I have some very good microphone. I don't know why I'm it's picking up these noises out on the streets because this is studios is noise control, so I can hear the echo. So I want to apologize for that. I'm going to work on that for the next episode. Now, so let's go back. For openly confess my faults to myself, God, and someone that I trust, and take a moral inventory of ourselves. I'm going to apply all these principles to myself because I'm talking about myself. I'm talking about you guys out there. 'Cause I don't know who you are. You guys might not be even needing this to watch these videos, but maybe you can help someone out there. Or maybe you are. Maybe you have a problem with alcohol. You don't want to admit it, like I did for 42 plus years. I started drinking when I was, Jesus, I think it was when I was 17 years old. Something I'm going to be including my testimony. It's going to be exciting when I get the testimony. Going to relieve a lot of stuff, and I think I'm ready to do that. I was not ready about 2 years ago, a year ago, 6 months ago, 3 months ago, 2 months ago, 1 month. I think I'm ready now. I built a lot of confidence within myself in God, and I think I'm ready to share those stories with you guys with one purpose. So someone out there can look at me and says, "Wow, if Raphael can did it, I can do it." Because that's the same way I used to think about people. I saw a lot of people with these issues, tremendous issues with alcohol, drug, cocaine, weed, crack, and all kinds of even in my own house when I was living, because I used to rent these rooms in my Parson Lucy. I used to live in a big house which was owned by my brother, and I used to rent these rooms because I was living by myself, and that's when I started like. And I'm not trying to deviate from this subject, guys. I just want to give you a little bit of feedback on each episode. Try to open up in a conversation with you all to understand what we're talking about here. So in this house, I used to rent rooms. It was devastating to see. I thought I had a problem, but maybe that's what God probably put me there to see how these people destroy lives have become. And I rented rooms for over 4 years, and I must have rented those rooms to over 40 people. They would come and go, come and go. I would end up with an issue, with a not physical fight, but with an argument, and then with police to come into the house, or sometimes uh, with the evictions. And I used to go to those rooms, take pictures the way those rooms were left. That's when I started. And don't get me wrong, during those times, during the first years, I was drinking. Of course, I didn't drink with these people. I always kept it to myself. But I used to wake up the next morning and open the door and say these guys were gone. They didn't pay the rent. They were gone. And this room was a complete mess. One day I pulled out, like, I'm not, this is honest speaking, probably like 12 bottles of vodka, empty. Needles and crack. I I just didn't have any. I said, wow, I thought I had a problem, God. And I started talking to God and then trying to see these people. I could have helped these guys. Then guilt came into my head, like, wow, yeah, but who am I to criticize these people or to where I drink alcohol? So that didn't make that much difference. But again, those were experiences that I went through. And maybe I learned something from them, and that kind of triggered me to start working on myself and see light through them. Now, who placed those people there under my roof or inside my roof? I think it was God. He placed them there. There's nothing that happens unless He approves it. It took me a while to realize that. So openly confess your faults to myself, God, and someone that I trust, and take moral inventory of ourselves. I think I have to follow that. It took me a while to follow that. Confess to God, of course I always did, but now with the meaning that I started doing it months and months ago, with sentiment, with love, with so much. So much sentiment that I put into those prayers that I prayed to God to get these things out of my system to help me. Even I get to question God why others have been saved, came out of these addictions, alcohol, not me. When you know, I quote, when you know God that I'm a good person, I'm a hardworking guy. Yes, I sleep. I have my shortcomings. Fall short. But you know, wrong, I'm a good person. But I was just trying to be honest to God and at the same time questioning Him about what was there that I did that I didn't get that chance that He gave or He's given to a lot of people. And I was so wrong. I think He was always been there for me with His arms extended, waiting for Raphael to tell Him, God, I'm here, or to ask Him. So since then, He's been my director. I would call Him my director, whatever you want to call Him, to say that word. But that's what I believe. He's my boss. There's nobody else up there. He's my boss. I'm not doing it for somebody else up there. I'm doing it only for God. Because He is the one that I owe what I am today. He gave me the faith, the strength, and He's still doing it. I do trust people, of course. it was part of the process. I have to go through these meetings and start telling them about my shortcomings, my hurts and defects and addictions, and that helps. That helped me a lot because by doing so, I get to interact with people, confess my right, not in the open, but right to that person. But that individual must be someone that you trust, someone that you get to trust a lot. Because it doesn't mean because you go to church, because you go into these meetings, because you meet people that mean sobriety for 20 plus years, they mean they're saints. No, it's not about that, guys. I don't, honestly, I don't judge anybody out there because that's part of my healing process. But I'm not healing because of these people. They're just, at the end of the day, they put their pants the same way I have put mine, and you. They have a different approach, a different take in things. I take what I can get and find value, and I let stay with them what I don't desire or I don't need. But they work. Trusting somebody, talking with somebody, trusting. For instance, let me give you an example. I have family members that I love the most, and to a certain degree, I am very content, happy that I'm able to be in such a great place with them at the moment. But there's someone in particular, my sister, my brother, that has been in this journey with me since my last dropped. See the way I connect words. I just call him drop. I don't call him like other things that I want to talk about that. But it's a drop. It was a big drop and a drop. When I went back, I got up, dust off myself, and I clean up and I move on. Moving on. You gotta move on. You just can't stay in one place. And you gotta take a moral inventory about yourself. Things that you have done, things that you keep doing, things that you're doing to other people. Whether you believe it or not, there's a lot of hurt that you have caused other people. And you have to take personal inventory and make amends. And we're gonna get into that in the next steps. Let me check on see if there's any comments. I'm pretty sure we have some comments, guys. Excuse me. We have Ricardo. We have Admiral still there. Jasmine. Yes, Principles 1, 2, 3 is all about God. Yeah. Oh, Jasmine has a question there. Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man. Let me just show that on the screen for you guys. Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. Absolutely correct. We covered that in our weekly meetings, Jasmine, you, me, and Richard, and Del and Destiny. Uh, that's beautiful. Yes, ma'am. You hit it right on the spot. Can I get a test for anyone out there in the chatting line, or please, if you can hear me well, I want to make sure that I end up this broadcast that you guys can fully understand every word that I say. Give me a check, please. Admiral, can you give me a check? Admiral, I love that name. Where I sound loud and clear. Okay, we continue with. We're coming close to the end soon. Okay. Then she goes on adding, the rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house. Yet it did not fall because it had its foundation on the rock. Wow, wow, that's beautiful. Let me go with Mr. Bad Guy. Mr. Bad Guy, welcome to my show. Thank you. We really, really appreciate immensely how great of audience we got there today. Beautiful. Bad guy, Mr. Bad Guy, welcome again. Thanks for your comments. Substance abuse and addiction almost always have underlying causes. Well, these roots can be addressed with the A principle of recovery in order to end an addiction for the long term. That's a good question. And I'm going to read it again before I give you an answer or allow anybody to give me an answer to that. That is and I'm going to try, I'm going to give it my best shot to answer the question. You know, I'm not a psychologist. I don't, by far, I don't have a doctor's degree, but I have a degree in something that most people will understand. I have a degree in life in the streets. When I say streets, thank God I was never went to homeless or lost my dignity or did some crazy things that other people do. That I could have ended up like that? Yes, of course. That's how bad alcohol can get. But again, as an experienced guy that have drank for 40 plus years, I think because I'm just gonna give you an answer straight from my horse mouth. Just if I want to put it to you out there with simplicity. Take for an example my life. You don't know, Mr. Becca. You don't know about what my life was kind of. I was a good guy, normal guy. I grew up with parties and booze, and since I was 16, 17 years old, I am 62 now. And I had a very brilliant, successful career in the building management, property management, cleaning. I managed big properties throughout the entire, whether it's in Chicago, Puerto Rico, California, Los Angeles, and, Florida, and you name it. And I drank since I was 16 years old. And I thought alcohol was okay with me. Everybody was drinking back in those days until now. But the problem was that most of these people around my circle, they don't drink. Or if they do drink, they know how to control a cup of wine, maybe two, three. That's not me. I never get the answers to that. I continue drinking. I thought alcohol was something very normal in my life that nobody would care. You know, but to answer you the question more specifically, that I do believe that the recovery in order to end the addiction for the long term, it's up to you. It is all up to you. I can sit here and tell you that because of substance abuse and addiction almost always have underlying causes. Yes, it's true. But with these roots can be addressed with the eight principles. They're there to you. Religion is there to you. God is there to you. Good people are there to you. Programs are there to you. What else is there that is not there that we cannot take advantage of and put into work? It's all in your head and it's all about you. You have to take the first step. Like me, I took the first finally after all these decades. And I said to myself, well, either it's I'm in, I'm all in, or I'm out. I am out. Because the last time I was in the hospital, I was just basically almost died. Not too long ago. It's going to go to a year now. That's when I say it's time to end this BS, crappy addiction. Find value. I found value, and it's a commitment that I made to myself for a long term. That's obviously what I'm aiming at. It's a long time achievement award that I'm going to be getting until the end. It doesn't stop here, tomorrow. I mean, today, excuse me, today, tomorrow, next year. It's going to be there. Why am I going to fool myself or fool yourself or fool you? Telling you, oh, you said no. You, you're seeking an answer that is real, real. It's on you. But I give you an advice. If you stay within the parameters of honesty and with the right people, you have better chances to make it without those two items. And what's what we got? But at the end of the day, it's up to you. You know, it's all on you. I mean, I can go on and tell you right now that tomorrow I'm not going to drink, have a drink again, or I'm not going to drink ever again. That I don't know. I don't know the question, the answer to that. I'm not going to fool myself, but that's not what I want. There's so much stuff out there in life that you can enjoy. Your family, your kids, your grandkids, your sisters and brothers, your family, all those people that can gives you brings you so much love, and you can pay them back by bringing them, paying them back by the same love, affection, and good deeds. Wow, start working on yourself and don't ever give up. That's my answer to you. Forget about it. It's a good question. I love this question. Very good question. You must start forgetting about these things and start thinking about positive, about what is your purpose. Why is that you want to make a change, that you have changed for a long, short period of time? Don't allow our excuses or people to come to your life and tell you otherwise what you have already focused on. Keep moving, keep going straight into that road. The road might seem long, it's a long ride, but as long as you're heading towards the right direction, who cares where it's going to end, right? All right. But that's a good question, Mr. Bad Guy. Thank you for bringing that to us. I hope I gave you my best answer that I could think of. If I didn't, just write me down and we'll bring it to. We agree on something, Mr. Bad Guy. I have another bad guy question. Roots being history of trauma, chronic stress, mental illness, etc. Roots being history of trauma. Yeah, it's true. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to give you advice on stuff like that I don't know. But we're here to get these questions answered the best possible way because there's quite a few people. That's why I put these questions on the screen because let me tell you, there's some people out there that not because we're not smart, but everybody has a different take on some questions. I think that our roots is part of the history. Maybe I'm in my testimony. I'm going to be telling you, but I'm not going to blame my addiction into going into all this drama about how I was raised, how bad in some cases my parents were, this and that. No, it has a lot to do with that, with the type of education, the way you grew up, the way you was raised, under what circumstances, and everybody has different circumstances. My circumstances were very, very different, maybe similar to a lot of other people in the South American countries. Growing up as a child without a father and without the mother that have to come and emigrate to come into this country. so she can be able to pay and help and support his 8 children, like Raphael and 7 others. Boy, that woman is the blessing of my heart. It's everything that I, after guys, everything that I most admire in my life. Hard, strong, decent, beautiful woman, a beautiful mom. But it's circumstances that we grew up with, and then you go on to growing up as a teenager, and then this question carries a lot of weight to put that into perspective. I mean, I can move on into politics about a lot of stuff that it's involved with that trauma and chronic stress. Yes, but what causes that? Education, the way you was raised. Again, I go back with that. I'm not contradicting myself. What I just said and what I'm saying right now, it happens. And yes, uh, unfortunately, it is the way it is. And mental illness. Government has to put money aside instead of spending all these billions and trillions of dollars in our country that don't need and is trying to educate their own people. We have so many domestic issues in this country. Put the money to work, taxpayers' money, into those people that cannot do what I did. I don't have any mental illness. I have my father was an alcoholic, but I'm not going to blame that on my dad because I got kids. I don't know if that's going to answer your question, Mr. Bad Guy. I have kids, and to me are a blessing. I can sit here in front of you and tell you guys that I don't. I used to think that because my father was an alcoholic, and I actually thought that way for so many years, and I was wrong because my kids don't. If they carry the alcohol in their veins, I came to the believing that that's not. It's how you carry yourself in life. People that you walk with, you engage with, and the poor choices that you make in life. God gives us free will, for us to choose whether you took this path or that path. I took the wrong path, and you know how they ended up. That's right from the start. Or people are more lucky; they took the good path, and that's the free will. But that's part of the destiny. I don't want to get into that because we're going to be talking here for hours and hours. But it's a very good question. I love that, and I would like to elaborate more than that. But at the roots, no, my kids don't. I mean, I mean, I can tell you stories about these guys, man. They're all in grade one. I'm not going to get into that, but no, I don't think it's true. Otherwise, they will be having worse problems than I had than Dad has. They have a normal life, a decent life. They are successful in what they do. I'm not saying I was never successful in my life. I was a very successful guy. I raised my kids, my family with all my hard work, work and work and work. But it's a different thing, Different people have different circumstances, but no, roots. I don't know. I don't know if I answered that question. And mentally, let's see. We need more. So go out there and vote. Make sure that you vote for the right person so you can allocate some money for those. And educate the general population of those who are hurt and having addictions to put more money into these programs. These programs will work if you allow them to work. Okay, thanks for your question, my Mr. Bad Guy. Great question. We have Destiny. She sends us a heart. Thanks, Destiny, mommy, my love. I love you. Bye. We have Mr. Bad Guy again. Thank you for your truth. You're very brave in admitting your truths and finding value and your purpose. I appreciate you. You're very welcome, Mr. Bad Guy. I don't think you're such a bad guy, by all means. I think you're a good guy. I like that. What is that little guy sitting down with a pain in his knees. No, not at all. Thank you. On the contrary, Mr. Big Guy, for bringing those terrific, outstanding questions to us, man. I love the challenge. To me, it's a challenge because I'm not. I get these questions, very brilliant questions for me to answer. Thank you. God bless you, man. Keep coming. I have. Let me see. What does I got here? This one we cover. I'm trying to get as many questions as I can answer. Root spin. Okay, that one is answered. That's we got. Oh, we can understand. Oh, thanks for your feedback. So, I guess I sound loud and clear, right? Thank you, Destiny. I have. See, I'm putting all these things on your screen so you know how people interact, and it's just good. It's about having fun and interacting with each other and just make it fun and be kind of planting a seed for a future relationship with one to another. That's the whole podcast is all about, and learning from one to another. All right, we're gonna move on to step. Let me change screens here. We were in number four, I believe, right, guys? Open confess. Yes, let's go to the fifth one. Number five is voluntarily submit to change to what God wants from me. Admit to God us and our human, our wrongs. That's a very good step. You need to be willing to allow God to see. God already has made the change for you. He's putting you out there. He's working on your healing. He's giving you the tools, everything that He can. God, what else? There's can be nothing but good. Just take a look at this thing. Just listen to this. God, God. What else there is that you only get nothing but good? That's my beliefs. He's opening some doors for me. He's shut down a few doors for me, and I used to curse and say, "Why this door has been shut down on me?" Well, and then in other times I would say maybe he's opening new doors and always with the thoughts that hey, he shut down, he closed the door on me, he's going to open another. That is so wrong, guys. I right now I'm a person I thank God for every door that He shuts down. Because when He shuts down a door on me, there's a reason why, and I learned from that door that He shut down. So we always got to be grateful for whatever happened in our lives, and there is going to happen in our lives. I wouldn't be here right now telling you these stories or going through this stuff or uh, trying to continue with this podcast if I wouldn't have these experiences with myself. So there's always a purpose, and admit. Yes, you got to admit your faults. It's very important that you admit to yourself and to God that you are wrong and that you are willing to accept and to make the change. Because it might be too late if you don't do that at the right time. And also, I mean, you rush to another human forgiveness. Forgive other people as other people will forgive you. We're going to move on to number seven. Seven, reserve a daily time with God. Humbly ask God to remove our shortcomings, continue personal inventory, and when we're wrong, admit it. Pray for God's will for us and the power to carry them out. The, this paragraph says it all. All you gotta do is read it a few times. Okay, I'm not going to elaborate on that because it says it's pretty self-explained. I'm going to allow you to do that in your unconscious mind. Hey, who knows? Maybe give it to somebody else that may need it, or yourself tonight before you go to bed. I know I go through that every day of my life, every night. Number 8, yield myself and my whole life to God. Carry these messages to others as I am doing and practice these principles, hurts, hang-ups, and habits. That is exactly what I'm doing. Meaning I give myself my entire life to God. What life? He owns my life. I don't own my life. My life is His. I did with my life what I was not supposed to. Excuse me. Let me rephrase that. I correct that. I did with His life what I was not supposed to. I believe in God. I do believe that He exists. I don't think that I have to have someone to tell me. I'm not going to mention any names. My faith became from my own hurts, poor choices that I made in my life, causing suffering to other people, family members, brother, sister, kids, sons, daughters, you name it. Hurting myself, feeling with guilt, so much guilt, that I put all that into God's hand. I told Him one day, I asked Him one day, I told Him or asked Him that He wants you to communicate with Him. There's no such thing as you cannot question God. Listen, my relationship with God is only one relationship. It's very beautiful. We joke around, and that's He works here and He works there. He works here in your heart. So I will urge you to do whatever you have to do to make that happen. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful feeling. It's a beautiful sentiment. And I'm going to urge you and everyone, you guys out there, if you, it doesn't have to have an addiction, but you're going through hard times, hardship, whether your addiction is porno, whether your addiction is cocaine, whether your addiction is drinking, heroin, morphine, prescribed drugs, whatever, weed, whatever, or whatever you think that you're doing it, if you're doing it, of course. Sit down with yourself and ask God to come into your life. Once you accept that and accept Him into your life, pray, but do it with faith. God will utilize you to carry those actions of yours that you have taken from His mighty grace unto other ones. Perhaps that's what I'm doing right now in my own words, in my own accent, which I love my accent. That's what makes me who I am. And practice these principles. You see, the way I practice these principles myself, I do it in my own particular way. Nobody has time. Nobody needs to come to me and tell me, do it this way, that way. No, remember that man wears this, puts on the pants the same way I put my pants. I'm not going to allow that to nobody to come and tell me or dictate to me or preach to me how I'm going to do that. I will take, as I stated earlier, I will take what's good for me and I will leave that what's not what I cannot utilize on him without criticism or judgmental or being judgmental. But that's how I do it. Then I put those things to use in my own accord with my own self and with my own God. Where is you believe in somebody? I heard in one of these meetings last week that AA believes in high power, and that's okay with me. We gotta respect that. It's our denomination belief. And I heard this one of the ladies that said about that she didn't that she knows that God doesn't exist, that God doesn't is not there, that she's there. She goes to this marriages to blah blah blah. And that's fine. People have the right to think that way and the right to go through their emotions. I don't know what she went in life, and then she must have a big reason. So we, as human beings, we have to understand put ourselves in the other people's shoes, and that's where I am in these meetings. When I go there to these meetings, I just go there and see, and my mind, I get blown out away by all these stories that people said and talk about, and I learn so much every day of anybody, and I grab that and I share with other people. I utilize those things to in my own daily routine for myself first. Nothing will come out of me unless I have already utilized it myself. Remember that, guys. Even a word that I said or pronounced out of my mind, out of my mouth, I have utilized that word many times. But yeah, it's and the hurts and hang-ups and habits. Hurts, get away from those. Release those hurts. You don't need those hurts anymore. Comes with the addiction. Comes with the faults and all that. And once you do that, you're going to feel free. Be free from all the hang-ups. Free yourself, like I am right now. Be at peace and start new habits. If you like to act, go and act. Sing, sing, sing out loud. When you take a shower in the bathroom, or you sing. If you want music, buy yourself whatever instrument, saxophone, piano, whatever. Get into it. If you like to cook, cook. If you like to clean, clean. If you like to go fishing, go fishing. Hunting, yeah, I don't recommend hunting. Killing animals is a bad thing. I never believe in hunting. But if that's something that would excite you, go ahead and do it. Horseback riding. Oh, do it. Find a reason. Having said that, what I just said about I got into habits, that's my extra tip that I gave you today. It's 8 principles, but at the end of the day, you gotta make it work. You gotta make them work out for yourself, and you got to add something onto that, whatever it is, to reinforce that. Don't settle for 8 principles for 12 step. You gotta do better than that. Keep striving. Keep fighting. Keep the battle. Have courage. Like one day, my son asked me and told me that it's about courage. I have repeated this twice during my podcast. His name is Raphael Jr. And he told me that have courage. All it takes is courage. And I will never forget that day that he told me that. And kind of aligned me with that because I had so much courage in my life. I've done things that I can today. It's unimaginable how far I reached. I went to being so brave in my military years. And it's so you got to do more than that. Always find more reasons. Always try to protect yourself with an armor that is not going to allow nothing to come to hurt you. Put the armor of God, G-O-D, God. That's what you got to do. And then ask Him to give you grace, to give you the wisdom, but do it with faith. Faith, 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 faith. If you pray, if you think pray is good and it's going to work, but you got to do it with faith. And then start asking people for forgiveness and start forgiving people. That's it for today, guys. Let me check if there's any other questions. If not, I think there's 2 more comments, and then we're going to just close it. Okay, we got another comment from Jasper. Great show. Can't wait to hear part 2 of the principal next show. Curious about it. God, I'll tune in next time. Bye now. My life is His. That's right. Life is His. Oh, how are you? Jacob. Oh, we have Jacob. How are you, Jake? Doing great, man. Hope you're there, but sorry I didn't get to you back, Ellie. I'm doing great, kiddo. Yourself? Thanks for tuning in. I'm glad to have you. We're just about to be wrapping up and closing our show, but we're doing great. Thank you for tuning in. We love you here, man. Ricardo, great job. Can't wait to hear more. Okay, great. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for your comments, for your contribution to my podcast. And have you noticed something that we're getting better, just a little much better every time we go live, right? And that's the whole idea. I noticed I'm getting a little more relaxed. There's a process, like the process of quitting alcohol. It's a process, guys. It's a learning process. This is Rafael, your host with the Moving On Podcast Show. Until next time, in which we're going to be covering once again the 12 steps in 2 episodes. And we're going to bring Bob with us out of Canada. He has a place to be with us. He has an amazing story to tell us. Great guy. We're trying to help each other with somewhere in our areas. And I'm going to end it up with my testimony. Once again, I'm going to tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly. So get ready for me, guys. Good night. Love you and God bless you.